Hello my dotlings, and welcome to another dot bait video where I kind of just talk about stuff that I run into at the office, which this time it's going to be a hashtag. I'm doing a hashtag hekatewitchtag. Usually I do stuff that I run into in my office on these videos, and I think it's funny that this hashtag pops up when it does because I have been having a lot of people come to me asking about how to start their path. And this Hekate being my patron, one of my patron goddesses, and being like the torchbearer, like this is just, it's just interesting, very, very, very synchronicity, very syncretic. Let's get us a little coffee. I have a friend who spent too much time in Jersey, and she says coffee. So now I say coffee, and everybody looks at me because around here they call it coffee. Let's do this. How did Hekate first enter your life? Back in the good old bad days, which is kind of what I call my first marriage, I was really like full dark night of the soul, full desert period, way too long trapped in a bad situation where everything sucked. Everything sucked. And I started to get back into magic to get out of that situation, to start to build my personhood back up. And I was a long-term care nurse for 10 years. And y'all know, if you know, then you know. If you don't know, then you don't know, and there's no way for me to explain what that's like. Essentially, it is purgatory. You've got a whole bunch of people waiting for their gods to come and pick them up. It's a whole lot of people who are completing the last chapter of their life. You know, so it's a very stressful place. Also, nursing homes are second to nuclear energy plants when it comes to regulation. They're highly regulated, and this one was not doing well. So, like, I don't know, there was like, it was weird. It was not even like a normal nursing home. It was an extra crispy nursing home looking back. But I met Hekate through getting back into my practice and really needing that light. You know, it makes sense that, like, her big thing, I kind of almost look at her like a DON, a director of nursing. For those who don't know, it's basically like the person who is in charge of like scheduling and organizing and getting people to do what they need to do. That's what the DON does. They get people to do their jobs. And she, you know, she's the torchbearer. So she kind of led me out of that situation. It's funny because her and Hermes, Mercury, also kind of just every now and again, every time I've called on him, I have gotten an intense and instant response that is also, in retrospect, hilarious, but at the time, kind of terrifying. So just remember, Mercury's a trickster god. Just say it. I'm just saying. Do with that information what you will, but I'm telling you, when he goes into retrograde, just think of it as him being on vacation. If you make it funny or you get stuff you already needed to get done, the results can be just so that's the first. Number 2, what aspects or epithet, English hard, y'all. Look, I have not had my coffee yet. Okay, I'm working on it. We're working on it. We're living, we're vibing, we're drinking our coffee. What aspect or epithet of Hekate do you connect with the most and why? So, the torchbearer, the keeper of keys, these aspects, I don't know, like, because I tend to look at my gods as friends, I tend to see them as being pretty dynamic in themselves. You know, I'm a hard polytheist in that I think that each god has their own consciousness, and I'm a soft polytheist as in I'm pretty sure we're all connected, like every one of us. So, like, I think they're as real as I am. So when I call on her, it is often that aspect that I am calling on. And it's funny because she's been popping up lately, and I've been getting a lot of clients who are looking for direction. And it is always going to be the torchbearer that I see first, that light in the darkness that I am trying to illuminate for others as well. You know, if I light your torch with my torch, we now have two fires. We now have two sources of light to guide us on this path. And that is the aspect of her that I love the most. There are many other aspects I love about her. I love, like, we can, I can do this all day. How do you honor Hekate in your daily or monthly practice? That's kind of strange because that's not really. I talk to her. I read videos about her. I do videos like this, I guess, is one. Like, this would be a way to honor her, doing these videos. I think this hashtag is very interesting for that. I do watch videos. I do occasionally make sacrifices, just go and hang out. A lot of times, I'll just sit and have a conversation with them. Like, the gods in general. This is how I usually worship my deities. So, like, just sit down and talk. So yeah, that's kind of how we interact. It's not really like I do occasionally, like, if I've got something, I think Hekate would really like this, and I'll put it, like, on the gods' altars. Like, we've got our statuary lined up, which kind of brings us to the next question. I do have statuary of her. I don't really have, like, a dedicated altar to each one of the gods because I don't have the space yet. Like, we're still kind of cleaning and organizing, but we have a space for all our statuary lined up, and it's more of a like, it's welcoming them into our home more than anything. Like, we do try to keep it nice, but all our gods are on there, and a lot of times if we're making, like, little sacrifices, we can do that there. But more often than not, I will go to, like, the crossroads, and or I'll go into the liminal spaces to meet her. What offering do you most enjoy giving Hekate, and what do you think she enjoys? Yeah. I said 4 because we have the statuary, but we don't really have an altar. 5 is this one about what offering do you most need. What offering do you most enjoy giving Hekate, and what do you think she enjoys? I don't know what's going on with my voice today. First, I always bring her dog treats and tobacco. Like, that is, like, the baseline. Sometimes I'll bring her fruit or flowers or something cool, but always some dog treats, a little bit of meat or something, sometimes jerky, but something for her dogs, and and tobacco. Sometimes we'll bring fruit. And actually, this is a great time to plug up. I got a buddy of mine who actually made incense for Hekate. Like, she hand dips her incense. So she mixes the oils and fragrances and soaks them. And that is Faye Clips. So you can ask her for one of her Hekate blends. She made 3. Goddess of the Witches, Goddess of the Crossroads, and the Keeper of Keys. And they are all lovely. They're all lovely, and it's kind of interesting how the smells differ and kind of do, like, you can feel in your mind where where that displays different aspects of her. It's really cool. So Faye Clips, FEA Clips .com, or you can find her on Facebook. So those are always really cool. 6. Has Hekate ever appeared to you in a dream, vision, or moment of crisis? Absolutely. Absolutely. I have not like seen her as in the way I see the cell phone or any of the other things that are in my office that you can't see at all. Not in this third dimensional way, but definitely in my mind's eye, I can often see her when we're having a conversation. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of times the way I perceive individual gods is, we see through pictures and statues and things. So she kind of has this ethereal perfection that it's really kind of cool. But that's, so yeah, she's definitely like showed up, which is pretty cool. And especially when I've needed her. It's funny because she's been really, really popping up lately. She doesn't always just show up like right here. Sometimes she'll start speaking through other things, like people bring up her name in conversation, or suddenly, and this is a big one, I don't always watch videos on any particular goddess or god, but a lot of times when they're reaching out to me, my YouTube feed will take a hard turn in that direction. Like suddenly every third video is about Hekate, or it's about, Buddha. I like Buddha. Just kind of one of those hard turns. But she's really been kind of like reaching out to me. And I know she's also been reaching out to me because I've been getting a lot of people who are just kind of starting on their path. And that's a big thing as I dedicate to Hekate, is that you're there to guide people. So, there you go. What lessons has she taught you that changed your life? Perseverance. I think Hekate gets this bad rap because we tend to think of her as being severe, but she's also very, very compassionate. And it is difficult to be compassionate when you're not feeling your best. And that's kind of the lesson that she's given me, is to still see other people as people, even when I want to scream and run into the woods. Even when they're not being very humane, seeing people who are misbehaving because of personal issues. I worked a lot with people who, I worked with the unhoused. That is very Hecate's domain. I worked in a nursing home. That is very Hecate's domain. And when you work with Hekate, you have to maintain a standard that you can't expect from other people. And sometimes realizing that you are going to drop to their level and need that help back up, and having that compassion for yourself to see when things have gone wrong and that you need that help back up. Because she'll be there for you when that happens. She's not going to let you just lie around. She's not going to let you get lazy. But it's always like we're each a hand in the darkness. We are each a torch from that spark. So there you go. That is a great lesson to me. And that brings me great comfort at times. How does your queerness or identity influence your devotion to her? Honestly, kind of being willing to do these videos. Very chicken and the egg. Very chicken and the egg because, following her has allowed me to become who I am. And because of who I am, I honor her in a very loud and public manner. Like these videos are just simply being a open and proud pagan in an increasingly Christian national nation. You know, I'm here in West Virginia. I have definitely gotten, like, we've had events protested. It's never all at once. Like, it doesn't happen every single day. Things are not getting caught on fire every single day. But, you know, when something happens, you notice. It doesn't, you know, so she's kind of given me the courage to do that as part of my path, as part of being the torchbearer, is to be out there, to be visible. And that's kind of how I use I got loud. I tell people I got loud. So I use that to honor her. Yeah, I think that's very roundabout. There you go. That's my answer. Whether it satisfies the question, I don't care. Number 9. What is your favorite Hekate ritual, spell, or sacred tool? You know, honestly, one time, there was this group of, they were Hellenistic practitioners, and the theater of their ritual, because my rituals to Hekate are usually, you know, they're sacrifices of poems and things like that. It's very beautiful, but this, like, collaborative art project to honor all the gods in the, I forgot the two main characters in a story that she popped up in. Persephone. There we go. Persephone and Hades story. They put on the whole, and it wasn't a stage play. It was kind of a guided thing where you would go through this path and then you would meet a character and they would talk about their part and what they did and then, you know, move on. Then I just thought that was, like, the coolest thing. I thought that was the coolest thing, and I think we should do more theatrical ritual. And, you know, I thought that was cool. So, number 10. What advice would I give to someone just starting their path with Hekate? You know what? Honestly, just hold on to your humanity if you're going to work with the public. Because I think when you work with Hekate, there is certain expectations of service and being out there helping people. Some people are the darkness that we've got to shine the light through. It's not that they're bad or good or have any moral judgment upon them, but there are people who are not willing to move forward in their life, and sitting with them and not giving more of yourself than what you can afford to, than what you should, you know, one of the things, I should have put this as, like, the second very important lesson that Hekate has taught me is boundaries. Having boundaries, and she is very good at, like, look, this is the path. That is not the path. That is not the path. Don't let people pull you from your path. So if you're a new beginner, it is definitely time to start doing shadow work on your own. Do some of these works on your own rather than waiting for her to kick your ass. That's what I suggest. Like, if you're going to follow Hekate, if Hekate has called you, it is because she has found great value in you, and it is time to live up to that value. which is funny for me to say with my chronic depression, and sometimes I just collapse into a ball for no reason at all and just can't function. But, you know, that is also the empathy part. We talk about how harsh she is, and she can be very harsh when you are intentionally lazy. But when you're having an episode, when you're having a moment, then you see that other side. You see that empathetic side. So just be mindful. Like, if you're having a moment and she's kicking your ass, maybe it's a choice you need to make. If you're having a moment and she's being empathetic, maybe it's time to rest. Like, just be mindful of that. Sometimes it's kind of hard to parse out. She does not, when you're speaking with the gods, you may not speak so directly. It may come through in the world around you. Like through my YouTube feed and finding a hashtag for hekatewitchtag, while I've got a bunch of people coming to me for guidance on their path. That is a big message. So look for that. And that is my video on hashtag hekatewitchtag. I hope you have enjoyed it. Have a nice day. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my website. I do readings. I am a professional psychic. You can find more at dottiephpsychic.com. Safe travel and much profit to you.